We can exist here and do the kind of stuff that we do and still walk down the street, stop in every store, know who owns every store.
The best thing about Lyttelton was when you came home, you drove through that tunnel and all that shit in Christchurch is gone and you can forget about it if you're working or anything else.
I just lived in London for 7 years before I came here. Was the French, the Swiss, the German, the English with the port. A lot of people used to look you in the eye, village atmosphere, and it was just quite friendly as far as I was concerned. And we just fell in love with it. Be here forever.
Everyone here is really supportive of everything that you're doing, especially what we do. And it's a real community, you know what I mean? It's not manufactured.
Well, it's very much a working class waterside. Seaman Harbour Board really virtually formed the backbone of Lyttelton in the past. But now the community has changed and it's become a place socially where a lot of people that normally would never have considered in the past want to live here.
Per capita, there's a lot of bars. You got 4 bars, 5 bars down the main street. You've got like another 5 up here. Any small town with the amount of people that live here, as Lyttelton does, that has that many bars, it's got to be a good place to hang out, right?
Different world, almost has a different moon and sun. A lot of my friends call it the Wallace Asylum, and I totally agree with that.
It's quite a special place, I think. It certainly attracts bohemian types and artists especially.
Welcome to the first Harbour Sessions for 2009. Tonight is the night of acoustic folk monster Billy madness. That's the best way to describe that, I guess.
What made me sort of put this show on is there's definitely an existing underground scene of these solo duo artists that I'm trying to get together and sort of grow from that. And it's a really good place for other artists to meet other artists and get inspiration. And being a solo artist and a guitar, it's really simple just to kind of like hop up on stage and play some songs. We're 2 days away from the Harbour Sessions show, and we're going to do an interview with one of the performers, Marlon. She's going to come and talk to us about what she's been up to and play a song for us.
Like honey to be sweet and softly spoken words are worth little to her. It's too early, it's still morning. What she wants.
I owned a guitar from about 11 or 12 and mucked about on it and learnt classics like, you know, Smoke on the Water and things like that. And then I just developed my own style and discovered chords and played at home a lot. And
so you've played a lot of gigs at the Wunderbar. Would that be your favourite spot?
I guess so, yeah.
Around?
It would be. Yeah, I have a soft spot for the Wunderbar because it's just one of those sentimental places for me.
I think it was about 91, 92 with my partner at the time, and I walked in, there was a couple of guys in frocks forcing their way to the bar, barrel-chested characters, and they pinched me on the bum. Actually, no, they gave me a tweak on my cluster, and I thought, Jesus Christ, this is an interesting place. And I sort of looked at her and bought a drink, and I thought, oh, yeah, I quite like it. I've had a lot of naked people up here one evening, just running through one end of the bar and through the other. I think they were on Class A drugs at the time. And then one stopped on top of the stage and took a crouching position like a small frog or something and just stayed there and quivered naked, and no one could really do anything about him. And 2 of our patrons here tried to help him out, but as they were helping him down the steps, they dropped him. So it didn't go down too well. But anyway, he didn't say anything, he just sort of bounded away.
Awesome, thank you. She looked just like an angel for yesterday. She was so young and helpless, a pawn in the devil's game. And he looked just like a cowboy with a limousine for his ride. Till he shot the sheriff down one night. Now she's the alibi.
Rubbing his forehead as the dust floats through the room. This room with old polished floors, seats worn through time and pictures on the wall. Memorial Hall is where I stand, holding the pictures in the palm of my hand.
There's a lot of folk artists called old folk or old country folk or indie folk.
We always kind of called it new folk or
acoustic alternative folk.
It means some kind of way it can touch people who it relates to, you know. So Belter Space is Christchurch folk music, or Guns N' Roses is LA folk music, or Lou Reid is a folk musician for New York. It's just some way that people can feel like it touches them, you know.
I don't know how to class it because it's not pop and it's not really rock because I don't really play with a band that often. It's quite acoustic. So I guess it is folk. I'll admit. But, you know, folk is quite corny and old-fashioned, like you say. So it's quite, you know, people are always a bit embarrassed about folk.
Here I am, and here again, dangerously breaking around the bend, cutting corners on the way. Nothing left to say. except hi. How have you been? Thought you could do with some spending.
Thank you very much. I'm Boss Christ. I'm from Palmerston North. It's like the Christchurch of along North Island. For those of you who have never heard of it.
About 2001, started calling myself Boss Christ, and I was attending the local jazz school at the time, and quite liked the term boss to define good or cool, that sort of shit. And I had long hair, and my mum thought that I looked like Jesus. And the two words went together well.
Small thing picks up.
This here is some stencil art that's been appearing around Lyttelton in various strange places. There's quite a few of these around, and I just thought we'd check some of them out. I am part of all that I have never met. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. It's lovely. Reality is for people with no imagination. And here's a poster for the show tonight. Unintentionally worked out that most of the acts have all somehow got an animal or an insect in their name.
On your knees. Right there. That's good. She's my sister, eh? She knows I'm good.
I wanted to be in this real sick punk band, and we were going to call ourselves the Suicide Cats, after suicidal cats that ran in front of your car. But then, I don't know, that didn't work out, and I went a bit with folk rock, and Neighbourhood seemed more appropriate.
Let my gazes slip on your questions that I learn and prescribe. Confessions of why I should look away. And I was told a name which I bought and blamed as the first marker in the first wall of this closet I built on buried shame. The fool haunts me, so I'll go. I'll go. I'll go.
So Many Bees is sort of, I guess, a reference to the sort of times I'm going through at the moment with me and my wife, who's very ill, and whatever we sort of come across, everything just kind of bites us in the ass. And I guess I felt I wanted the anonymity of a moniker. So it wasn't anything preconceived, you know? It was whatever So Many Bees becomes.
My real name is Stephen King, and that's also the name of a popular author. So I thought instead of confusing people, I would use a pseudonym. So I chose Gearloose because it's a cartoon character that I like.
Why do musicians do that? Why do musicians call themselves the something and then they're a one-man band?
Solo acts. I don't know. It kind of... It's a way of distancing, you know, the band from the rest of your life, I guess, the boring stuff.
I found my fate on the shape of a wave. I'm anchored in hole in the storm. Now I'm putting out the bay. Age, I feel the weight of an age. Don't wanna carry all the years around, but I'm getting older by the day.
We're the Ragamuffin children.
Playing at the Harbour Sessions tonight. We've only got a few songs that are actually telling stories, which is really what folk music is. The rest are more like poems or vague kind of things.
Well, Brooke writes the songs and she's quite a vague person. I think that's where that comes from.
And I don't like to be too clear on things, like otherwise it's a bit too obvious.
And because I sing them as well, I don't want to sing about Brooke's personal life.
No.
So it works quite well that
yeah.
she's vague.
Because then it can...
Did you tell the story to? Did they believe every word was true? I never meant for this to be heard, but now everyone who prays whispers it word for word. And to stone the sand from the hourglass, and to fill it up with stones, drawing time to a close. Who took them away? Who took them away?
I work at an art gallery, but I mean, I do art and stuff, but I do design just as a kind of a sideline, just to help my friends out, really, you know, when they need it. Just to the right of that light tower, you can see the horizon on the profile of the hill, and there's like a sort of an Easter Island kind of brow and nose and chin. It's kind of like quite a prominent kind of face, which is sort of inspired the design, which is basically based on the elements of Lyttelton, which is the boats, the harbour itself, the hills, and the night sky.
I
always thought I'd love you through to the end, till I caught a wandering eye from your best friend. Sure as the brand new day, everything falls away, just like high school love.
What do you mostly write about? What do you like writing about?
I don't like it, but I tend to write mostly about relationships. It's a little cliche, I know, but it just seems to be where I get all my inspiration from.
Experiences, like childhood experiences. Some are based on dreams that I've had, and girls that I like and don't like me back.
I see myself as a bit of a story writer, so I like to do kind of storylines and songs, or a lot of the time I actually find myself writing about animals. I know that's kind of weird, but kind of almost drawing parallels to animals.
I know I said I would, but that may be the biggest mistake. The things we now call good, the things we once called great. When the storms of life come blowing, I'll be a fair weather friend. I'm certainly no tower of strength. I won't break, but I will bend. This kind of living, it's killing me. Out every night, trying to drink away your memory. Maybe I'm a fool for crying these tears over you, but your eyes were dry when our love was through. Thanks.
My old shoes are beaten and torn. My old shoes have never been worn. Is it true? I will be completely alone.
That was Harriet and the Matches there, local group, with a song called Old Wind. And in the studio, we've got Adam here and Jesse from the Eastern.
Hello.
How's it going?
Very well.
Very well. You played a lot of shows, eh? Like, that's what you do, you know, don't you? You play shows, eh?
Yeah, we play shows. It's our job. Our
Yeah.
job is to play. We
Yeah.
decided when we started this thing that it would be detrimental to us playing music if we worked proper jobs.
Yeah.
So now we have a non-proper job where
That's
we
awesome,
work
man.
harder than what we've ever worked before. But it's with
Yeah, you've played so many gigs, right?
Yeah.
And what would be the most memorable ones? Or not even gigs. Yeah, gigs. We'll say gigs. What are the most memorable gigs?
Well, I mean, every show is kind of a highlight in a way, even the ones that aren't so good, because every show is like a show where we're sort of winning in a way. You know, we're not having to go back to work, or you know, each time we get to play a show is kind of a blessing. There's a lot of great people out working hard, making songs.
Yeah,
well, we're in a really lucky time in some ways. I mean, 5 years ago, there's no way a guy with an acoustic guitar and a girl with a banjo could make a living playing music around the city, and no way near as play as many shows that we're lucky enough to get to play. And you know, there was a time when playing music in front of people was dead. You know, there was nowhere to play, and there was a lot of nightclubs with a lot of other kinds of music playing, a lot of DJs spinning records and stuff. And that's all good, but it was just, but now people are sort of alive to that kind of moment, that spontaneous moment of people sweating and you know, putting themselves on the line. So that's kind of cool, and people are appreciating that. And I think people sometimes quest for that other people, you know, they want to connect to other people. They want to
connect to people.
Yeah, you know, rather than
objects,
sound, audio, you know. So and so when there's nothing quite so as basic as that is having people singing for you. You know what I mean? So it's got to be worth something too.
We're going to somewhere just past Hallswell to pick up some hay bales for the show tonight.
Why would you need hay bales at the show tonight?
Well, that's because it's a country special. We've thrown the 4-song concept out the window for this one-off special event, and there's going to be 3 gun-slinging country acts going back to back tonight. It's a bit of a different show, so it's going to be a right hootenanny. Number 1, only about another 14 to go.
Totally agree.
Welcome to the country special Harbour Sessions. We've got a fairly exciting lineup tonight.
Country music is the same as hip hop or blues, or you know, it's telling stories.
Songs about loss.
Communicating on a person-to-person level.
There's always a weird kind of underlying irony about it, you know, like there's something like in a line or in a phrase, and it's just like when you read like a Hemingway short story, you know, like the simple prosaic kind of, it's got, you know, it's got a real kind of haunting simplicity about it.
We play country music, amongst other things, but we're proud of that fact. I mean, we don't wear cowboy hats or cowboy boots, and you know, we're not cowboys or any of that shit, you know.
There's a something in country music that the reason why I have an affiliation with it that I find really difficult to articulate, but it's to do with the element of country itself, as in wilderness, rural country, with music.
So don't be out late, you just might find you lose your shadow on a single white line, like a falling down makes no sense at all. Like someone who knew, and then they lied. And my old record goes around in my head like the turning of moons in the sky. Sun in the sky.
Is this going to be a good gig?
Yeah, it's going to be a great gig. It's kind of like a family affair, you know?
Yeah.
It always has been with the Eastern.
Yeah.
They're good to us.
Like a Mormon family, really. He's got wives.
Yep.
He's got funny little brothers.
I grew up listening to punk rock and metal, and it's loud, you know, it's got that power, you know what I mean?
It's gotta be loud.
Yeah, that guts, you know what I mean? But country music has the same weight, but without any of the force. You know, there's that difference between power and force, you know what I mean?
Well, Misty and Jim found themselves out in the middle of a three-penny opera. Well, Mister said to Jimmy, I never read this guy. And Jimmy said, well, me neither. He was hiding there with drunk and the night was coming on. Jimmy said, this is where we make our final stand. Well, Mister said to Jimmy, I knew that this would be the case. Jimmy boy, I'm here to support your plan. Out of streets, babe, strangers of a side, but somewhere up the trail, there's a friends who make us fools. There we are. Well, it only come together and come back. I said alone, come again and come back.
I'm big on stories at the moment. I guess is like trying, I'm not claiming to like achieve this, but like get a more of a Kiwiana storytelling thing going on. And I think New Zealand's got a lot of writers who do that quite well, but there's still a little bit of that cultural cringe.
South of the river, it's a place they all call home. Those southern bells, those wildflowers, south of the river. So I'm going home to the sweet country where I know my love. She waits for me in a small town in them hills down south of the river.
You seem to me to be a fire burning.
Why the Unfaithful Ways? How do you choose a name like that?
Well, you get two words that are in a country song that you really like, which is Miller's Cave, old standard, and the line is, I had a girl in Waycross, Georgia, but she had unfaithful ways. You know, she made me feel unwanted like the bats and the bears in Miller's Cave. 'Cause you and I both know it's the same old deal. You care about your pride, you don't care how I feel. But put your hand in mine and we'll go dancing. 'Cause I can't get your cruel love off my mind.
Well, I can't count the time that you've left me. No, and I can't count the times that I've cried. When you said that you could forget
setting up to do sound and record this Harbour Sessions session. There's quite an old school thought when you have a recording studio that, oh, you know, if you want anything successful or if you want a proper recording, you've got to go to a studio. And I kind of think that's real old school and that's a real bad mentality. Like, the way I think of it is, we're self-taught and we're there to facilitate and help people. And I actually really like it when a band comes in and they go, oh, we've done this at home, and we either add to it or help them or, you know, mix it with them or do something else, but they then walk away with tools to be able to do stuff themselves.
I've done a lot of home recordings. I'm quite a fan of sort of lo-fi sort of sound too. I'm not too worried sometimes about production values if you get your performance right.
Yeah, had like a lounge and a bedroom just set up as recording, and it was really good and really easy because shit was always set up and there was no neighbours to piss off. You know, I could roll out of bed and play drums naked.
Being naked in music, what's your experience of it? Have you seen people play? Have you played to an audience? Talk to me about no clothes in music.
Personally, I have never had my clothes off, ever in my life. I shower with my clothes on, go to bed with my clothes on.
In my old band Aviator, we did used to play when you made a mistake in band practice, you had to take off a layer of clothing.
I was in another sick punk band called the Hate Men. We take our shirts off, we had to. It's part of it. It's part of the hate.
I saw a guy once at L's Bar do it, and that was enough to turn me off, actually.
Thought about it. For me to do it tonight. might clear the bar.
Good evening. Stop it now.
Somebody mentioned to me the other day that playing the harmonica is not difficult. Basically, you get, unless it's one of the sort of dual ones, you just get it in a key and you pretty much blow. I mean, what do you think?
When I first learnt how to play it, I was working with this guy and he'd pull one out sometimes and he'd just sort of play a few notes and stuff like that. And I sort of thought, well, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to learn how to play it. So I hassled him and for a few lessons and that. And he didn't really tell me much. And he basically said, oh, I can't. There's nothing to teach. You got to learn it yourself. And I said, oh, great. Can't you just sort of give me some kind of clue what to do here? And he goes, suck it. Suck it, man. Suck it like your old woman's pussy. Suck it. And that's the only lesson I've ever had to play harmonica. But what he was trying to say was, if you do that, you're in blues territory.
I think emotion makes a good song. If the person cares about what they're writing about, then something will come across and other people will be able to kind of connect with it.
Just finding that little bit of heart, you know, that little something inside the song that you can go, yeah, I mean, I get that. You know, I feel that.
Unless the music you're making does something to you, then I think I don't understand the point of making it. I care about how we respond to suffering in our lives, and I care about how we respond to joy, and I think that comes back to the irony thing, is that we're not good in New Zealand at expressing deep sorrow or deep joy. It's kind of not okay, but I think music in some ways gives New Zealanders a way they can actually express some of those things.
Coming up with something in your head, you know, some crazy opinion about the way the world works or something like that, and then showing that to other people, and it's a really great feeling when somebody else gets what you mean, and you realise that, you know, you're not very unique in the way you think at all, and that's a good feeling.
Thank you very much.
You have to leave behind the old to create something new. Jesus gave up carpentry, and so must you. Give up your day job. Give up your day job. Give it up. It's so hard when I stand near you. Signals leave no guessing to be done. Let me run from all this. It's so hard when you are chained up.
We're Von Klap, and we play scummy country music with lots of feedback and noise. One of Daymond's tutors played our new music video to some of his industry contacts, and they said, something to the effect of, what's wrong with these guys? Do they mean to sound like that? Which is quite nice.
I really like the music they play, and I think that's a good example of Christchurch folk. You can hear it and there's something straight away. You can pinpoint it as New Zealand music, and you can also pinpoint it as Christchurch music. And that's kind of Bobby's style of singing and kind of the clangy guitar sound that harks back to other bands.
I've been waiting on this, babe, quietly for so long. 52 bottles of bourbon, 52 chances gone wrong. You lay there laughing and crying. You've done the same thing last week. So I wrote you this song, babe, hold me while you sleep. La-di-da.
This song is about harbours, because we live in a harbour, and so do you. And I think it really influences your outlook on things. This is a song called Describing the Harbour.
So, how did you come up with the name Tono and the finance company?
I was sitting on the couch a few years ago, and I saw about 3 ads for Easy Credit in a row, and it was, you know, those were different days back in 2006. There was no talk of recession, and nobody was really talking about economics back then, and so it wasn't really a big deal to me. It wasn't a topical name, and it kind of annoyed me because the recession happened, and it kind of made it such a topical thing, and it was almost like we'd chosen our name because it was for a recession, but it was really just that I just thought it was so ridiculous that everybody was, you know, throwing up this money and, you know, good credit, bad credit, we want you, all that kind of stuff.
Should we waste our time? Let's unwind and have it in the car before a movie. 'Cause when your eyes shine like glass, my heart beats faster. When your lips taste sweet and cold, my heart, you pull me in. And aftermath, when he's glowing, sipping cider like a beer, a widowed hive, we are ascending. We are pretending it's late when your light has crept in. You smother me with patience. I have the page from the book that was overdue, from this ending bribery. You got me thinking about robbery and breaking my deals down.
Skin and Bone is a song that I wrote about the meat market that exists in popular culture these days. Going out into town, getting drunk and like hooking up. It's kind of disgusting, I think. So that's what that song is about.
Not so tough when we do the same stuff, skin and bone, skin and bone. We've got corresponding parts, it's not hard to figure out, skin and bone, skin and bone.
In this discourse, some kind of race course, where no one knows the rules, like two not quite right bits that seem to almost fit. I can't win your broken hearted, wasn't playing from the start, so it's time to let space grow. Plan my exit just so, look before I cross, get up before I'm lost, calculate the cost before you notice. Oh well, not quite right, but not quite wrong, but like the right words to the wrong song. We're not quite right, we're not quite wrong, right words, wrong song.
Oh, what if a broken heart, feelings were not torn apart, nothing that she can say, there's nothing that she can do.
drawn to the center stage. I fell for the masquerade. Played everything that she was before she knew what she became. Calm just before the storm. Dogs becking at their call. Drag you until you fall right through. Tied to this misery.
I think that the Harbour Sessions is about people coming in from all different places, people that haven't even played live before, and it's all on an equal kind of thing.
It's like us. This is
Yeah.
kind of really our first official show. So it's the first time we've played live, and that's a cool thing, and it feels right doing that at the Harbour Sessions, because that's kind of pretty much what it's all about, you know?
Well, I guess it's kind of like a home game for a team. You feel there's obviously support there for you, as well as curiosity also to see what comes up in a Harbour Sessions, because it is a showcase of new talent. So that's really nice. It's a gig I've looked forward to for a while, and still am, actually.
Thank you very much. We're the Tiny Lies, and this is the last Harbour Sessions for this year. And welcome. Scrambled eggs, laughing, watching the politics. I'd rather keep this moment alive. The canvas is a blank one, and I know you got so much unpainted. Just keep taking chances. Just make sure you're viewing out more. You're viewing out more. They say he was.
I was just wondering if you could help me with a problem I've been suffering from. I was told you might be able to help with these sorts of things.
Truth, help, egg.
I think I hear someone calling my name.
Yes. It is your chakra aura borealis calling you to answer.
Play some songs, try and get you guys dancing because it's Saturday night. That's what you're supposed to do.